Hey, this is Ben Freer, and today I'm going to discuss E-2 visas for restaurants. A lot of people who like food love the idea of starting their own restaurant. Therefore, naturally, many people who are interested in running a business in the United States will consider investing in a restaurant business and use that investment to qualify for the E-2 visa. Given the popularity of this option, I thought it would be helpful to talk briefly about the pros and the cons of using an investment in a restaurant to qualify for the E-2 visa. Okay, so let's start with the pros. First of all, when compared to other types of businesses, it is less likely that the US government will conclude that a restaurant business is marginal. Now, marginal essentially means that the business will only support yourself and your family. Think about the restaurants that you visit. Even small, fast casual restaurants have a number of people working there at any given time. So the US government is likely to believe that your restaurant will create employment opportunities for US workers. Number two, your investment will be sizable. I suppose this can be viewed as a negative as well, but I see it as a positive factor. While technically there's no minimum investment requirement for the E-2 visa, most applications that involve an investment under $100,000 will face increased scrutiny. This increased scrutiny is based on the assumption that businesses with lower startup costs are less likely to create jobs. The problem is that a lot of people have a legitimate idea for a business that will indeed create jobs, but they're also struggling to hit the $100,000 mark. Therefore, in order to increase their investment, they will oftentimes choose to spend on things that their business doesn't really need yet. Regardless of whether you are starting your own restaurant or purchasing an existing one, the necessary initial investment will likely be over $150,000. This will help you avoid scrutiny on the basis that your investment is too low to generate employment. Number three, there are a lot of franchise opportunities. The US Census found that about 20% of food services businesses are franchises. This means that there are a lot of opportunities for people who want to run their own business while enjoying the guidance of a franchisor. Now, I've never run a restaurant, but I think it would be a lot less intimidating to have a playbook to follow to make it a success. So those are the positive aspects of E-2 visas for restaurants. But there are also some challenges associated with this option. Number one, financial risk. Starting a restaurant from scratch is financially risky. And it's risky because the E-2 visa is not guaranteed. Now, if you're starting a restaurant, before you apply for the E-2 visa, you have to convince the US government that your business is real and operating. And you have to show that you've committed the majority of the money that's needed to begin operations. If you are opening your own restaurant, this means that you'll have to find a location, purchase all of the equipment, pay for construction costs, etc. before you qualify. Since there's a lot of these costs, for example, construction expenditures, that can't be recouped in the case of a denial, you're taking a bit of a gamble when you choose a restaurant as your E-2 business. However, if you can find a suitable existing restaurant to purchase, you may actually reduce your risk by placing the purchase price in escrow. Essentially, this means that you could make an agreement saying that if the visa is issued, the money for the purchase is released to the seller, but if the visa is denied, the money will be returned to you. Another issue that I see at the moment is that interview timing could make the process challenging. The real estate costs associated with restaurants are typically very high. It would be extremely difficult to pay for many months of rent and cover the costs for a construction build out if your interview would be 6 to 12 months down the road. Disadvantage number three, the restaurant industry is challenging. I have never run a restaurant, but I hear that it's very difficult to deal with staffing issues. You have to be strategic about costs since you're dealing with perishable food items, and the margins can be razor thin. Of course, there are obviously many entrepreneurs who overcome these inherent challenges and go on to build profitable and rewarding restaurants that provide for their families, create jobs, and become a valued part of their local communities. So I hope this information was helpful. If you are interested in this path, I highly recommend that you reach out to one of the many amazing US immigration lawyers that you can find across the globe. And if you did enjoy this video, please like it or pass it along to someone who could benefit from it. Thank you for your time.